Good to see you. All right, we'll call the meeting to order. It's 6:31. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
Through the chair, I'm going to go ahead and call roll. Board Member De La Sierra.
Present.
Board Member Julia is absent. Board Member Cruz.
Here.
Vice Chair Rodriguez.
Here.
Board Member Leoncio, excuse me.
Present.
And Chair Senra.
Present.
I make a motion to approve the meetings of last month.
I'll second it.
All right, so a motion has been made to approval of minutes, and a second by Nelson, Vice Chair Nelson. And the motion was made by Mr. De La Sierra.
Okay. Calling roll to approve the minutes of last month's meeting. Board Member Cruz.
Yes.
Board Member De La Sierra.
Yes.
Board Member Leoncio.
Yes.
Vice Chair Rodriguez.
Yes.
And Chair Senra.
Yes.
The minutes have been approved.
All right, Mr. Attorney, we're changing the order of things. Oh,
I
Susan's
don't,
here, okay.
yeah, Mr. Chair, I think we can move forward with the quasi-judicial public
Okay.
matter. So I'll
right.
go ahead and
All
read
right.
the disclosure, if that's okay?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Please be advised that the following items on the board's agenda are quasi-judicial in nature. An opportunity for persons to speak on each item will be made after the applicant and staff have made their presentation on each item. All testimony, including public testimony and evidence, will be made under oath or affirmation. Additionally, each person who gives testimony may be subject to cross-examination. If you do not wish to be either cross-examined or sworn, your testimony will be given its due weight. The general public will not be permitted to cross-examine witnesses, but the public may be requested by the board to ask questions of staff or witnesses on their behalf. Persons representing organizations must present evidence of their authority to speak for the organization. Any person presenting documents to the board should provide the town clerk with a minimum of 10 copies. Further details of the quasi-judicial procedure may be obtained from the clerk. Before you, you have the first item, and there's only one item, which is variance 2025-0153. Before we begin, I would suggest that all persons who are going to be giving testimony be sworn in by the clerk.
For those of you that are providing public
Are you gonna
testimony,
be
please
speaking?
rise and raise your right
Yeah,
hand.
Stand up, please.
Thank you. Do you swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you.
Mr. Chair, the next part would be if anyone here has had ex parte communication, would be to disclose it at this time.
No one?
Okay. There being none, Mr. Chair, I would ask then that we proceed with the hearing by hearing first from the city and then from the applicant.
Good evening, Board. Justin Telleria, Planning and Transportation. We're presenting hearing number VARH 2025-0153. As Lorenzo stated, applicant's name Emilio Remior. The property is located at 6985 Maple Terrace, and the variance is from section 13-1509 to allow a fence at the property line in a side yard facing the street where a 15-foot setback is required. Background on the property, the proposed fence is along the northwest perimeter of the property, which currently conflicts with local zoning regulations due to the property's location east of the Palmetto Expressway. The property is situated at the intersection of Dade Pine and Maple Terrace, and the fence will be along Dade Pine Avenue. Notably, there is an existing 20-foot greenway separating the sidewalk from the proposed fence.
That's it? I didn't see the 20-foot, I was there on the property, I didn't see the 20-foot greenway between the sidewalk and the proposed fence on the property. I saw
Yeah.
I saw about, a total between the sidewalk and the residence, about 25 feet.
Yeah. Well, we had it according to the survey. That's what was noted on the survey, the 20-foot greenway between the sidewalk and the start of the fence.
Yeah, I saw the 10 feet from the road to the sidewalk, and then there's about 25 feet from the sidewalk to the existing residence.
Mm.
But it's really not a greenway, it's their property.
Yeah. Mm.
So according to
Part
the
of it.
survey, it seems like in one corner is 1757 from the sidewalk to the property line, wherever that benchmark is. And then within that is another 21 feet to the residence,
Yeah, the
to the
21,
actual structure.
the 2188, you mean?
Mhm.
And then as it says 20, but those are to the residents from the sidewalk.
Right, plus the 17 feet. That is not their property. So their property starts 17 feet in on that corner and 20 feet on the other side. So the property does not begin at the sidewalk,
Does not begin at the sidewalk,
no.
okay? Okay.
Who maintains that area, if you don't mind me asking? The property that doesn't be, the greenway area, is that a town property?
Correct,
It's town property,
correct.
okay. But it's on the adjacent to the homeowner's property and
Correct.
then the sidewalk?
Yes.
It's very irregular, that's why I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah, no, I rode the whole block and it was irregular like that. The sidewalk doesn't go straight. It meanders back and forth.
You will have your opportunity to present that.
So the property does not start at the sidewalk?
No,
Okay.
no, so what he's requesting is not to put the fence at the sidewalk. He's requesting to put the fence somewhere between 17 and 20 feet from the sidewalk,
But on his property line?
on his property, correct.
That would be 6 inches in from his property line would be the,
Well, right, we could discuss that, yeah.
yeah,
That's not what he's requesting, though. He's requesting at the property line.
at the property line. All right, thank you.
Any other questions for staff? Thank you.
Mr. Chair, we can hear from the applicant now if you so wish.
We can, we could open it for public comments right now?
Actually, we need to hear from the applicant first.
Right,
Yes,
yeah,
before we hear from the public.
okay. Please come to the mic and state your name, address, and make sure the mic is on.
Hello, testing. My name is Emilio Remior. My address is 6985 Maple Terrace.
Okay.
I brought some photographs just to kind of, I think it makes it a little easier to see. This green stick is where I'm holding the fence.
Yeah, it didn't look like 20 or 40 feet. Looks like it's got a tape measure, right?
So I got 20 feet from the sidewalk to the property line, and then 20 feet from the property line to the house, so.
And this is,
And I'm trying to protect that mango tree, because people keep taking the mangoes.
no, did you already speak everything already that you're gonna
Yeah,
say?
I think that's it. Just, if you guys have any questions?
I'm sure, yeah, I'm sure we will.
There's two sets of photographs there. There's one from the front and one from the back. I didn't have enough copies for everybody. I didn't realize there was that many.
Through the chair, do you maintain that green area
Yes, I do.
and also the, between the sidewalk on the street, the swale, you
Yeah.
also maintain that area?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got a question from through the chair. What kind of fence are you proposing here, sir?
It's a wood fence, a 6-foot wood fence.
6-foot wood fence? And, Ms. Alonso, we usually require 15 feet here, no?
Correct. So on the east side of town, the minimum setback for all fencing is 15 feet. So in
Right.
his case, because he has 2188, he would have to put the fence 5 feet from his home.
But this is not 5 feet from his home. He's saying it's 20 feet, no?
No, this area here belongs to the town.
Yeah, this area here belongs to the town. I got that,
So
right?
he's asking to
To
bring,
go up to here,
to go up to.
right. So
He
to
would-
extend the 5 to 20. Because it's
Correct.
because it's a side yard.
Correct. So he's asking for the fence to be put 20 feet from his
Property line.
home, which is where his property line is.
Which will be 15 feet into the property, into the town's property.
No,
No.
because there's an additional 20 feet that is the town's after that.
It's kind of
See the
confusing.
measuring tape here?
Uh-huh,
See the measuring tape here? Catalina.
uh-huh.
This is 20 feet. This is the town side. This is his property line. It's awkward because the sidewalk,
Yeah,
it's,
Next time I'm gonna draw that for them. Next time I'm gonna draw like that.
and we still don't regulate boats on the, there's still no boats allowed in the town, right? Because he meets under the,
Correct. So on the west side, it's allowed to put property, fences on the property line, 18 inches behind so that they can put some landscaping, but at the property line. On the east side, they have to go back 15 feet. And that's per deed restrictions that we adopted into the code. Yes.
The area between your property line and the sidewalk, you maintain that,
Yes, I do.
yeah. 'Cause
Yes.
I mean, that's my running route. And I took picture today.
Okay.
And, you know, I thought that you were gonna, that your proposal was to put it on, next to the sidewalk.
No,
And I would have objected to that, but, I mean, you're gonna be, yeah, in your property, okay, all right? Yeah, you even have sprinklers.
mm-hmm.
One more question.
Yes.
So, once again, we're talking about a stretch of 40 feet. That's already been done by survey?
According to the survey, yes, 40
40 feet.
17 plus 21, yes,
Yeah,
about 40
42.
feet, yeah.
No, a ver. Ujú, okay. Aquí.
No, it's actually more than that, no? Thirty-three plus 22, so about 45 feet. He's got 33 plus the 22 towards the back.
Through the chair, Ms. Alonso, can you tell us what the denial was from staff?
Staff was recommending denial basically because it doesn't really meet the conditions of the variance in the sense that there's really no, other than the giant greenway in front of them, there's really no reason that is different from any other property in the east side for the fence to be there. That being said, obviously with that giant greenway there, it doesn't really give as much heartburn to put a fence on the property line because obviously it's not adjacent to the sidewalk. So it's one of those, it took me a minute to really dissect, you know, the criteria because it was really not, but at the end of the day, there is nothing about this property that is different than other properties in the east side, except for the greenway, which is technically not his. So it was a hard decision for staff, I have to say. That it wasn't an easy come to.
One more question,
At
if
the
you
end of the
don't.
day, my recommendation is always more conservative than
Absolutely.
it is because that's as it should be.
Right,
right?
and we'd rather have that than to just recommend everything. For that, we don't have any proper development. So I don't see anything other than the fence. Will the applicant be allowed to put in a cement driveway? Will he be able to park cars there?
Not at all. This is a still and required side yard that has maximums for, he can still not park, it cannot be allowed to be as a driveway, it cannot be store vehicles there, boats, any other kind of vehicle in there. So putting in a gate would probably be discouraged as well, other than like a regular gate that you walk through.
Right.
Right, like a human gate, yes, but a vehicle gate would probably be discouraged by the zoning reviewer as well. Obviously, any additional, other than what's allowed for the side yard, which there is an amount of hardscape that you can put in a side yard, but other than that, it will still be discouraged.
Can the town use that area as a pocket park, as a,
The
I mean,
greenway?
as a greenway area? I mean, can we literally put a bench there?
Sure, it's a greenway.
Right, but once we do
We
that.
could expand, that's the kind of place where we would expand the sidewalk, or maybe put in, maybe bicycle facilities, that kind of thing. That's the
Right.
kind of room.
But once we do that, we would have to then do maintenance on the property.
Correct,
Right now, the resident would have to do maintenance even after the fence.
correct.
Okay.
Through the chair for Suzanne, I'm looking at, their address is 6985 Maple, but 14621 Dade Pine, which is right next to it. The two residents are even there at that point. Is there a 25-foot setback for that house?
For the one in the back of,
Right, the one directly behind where
The
he
one
wants to
red-
put the
yes.
fence.
yes,
It does have the,
25-foot setback.
it has a 25-foot setback there?
Correct.
Okay, just didn't, trying to visualize it, but, thank you.
Because that's the front of their property.
That's the
It's
front
on
of
the
their
side of
property.
their property.
Normally they're set back a little further, and this
Right.
one would be more,
I guess with that giant greenway in there, they didn't feel like they had to go any further back.
right. Right. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I have one more question, Chair. To the staff, then, so he would be extending the fence, his backyard fence, up to the 20-foot line where the new fence would be in, correct? And closing off the yard?
I've got a phone.
Yeah, there's, if you look closely.
If you
there's a-
look in the, yeah, if you look in the,
It's just- he's got a small- he's got a small yard. Let- let-
Yeah,
let-
they're here. no, it's this page. He's showing this page.
No, it just goes. it
You
goes
can find
across
that
the
in your
back.
agenda.
Yeah, running across
Yeah,
the
I see-
It
back,
has the
and then
drawing in
over
yellow.
that, and it comes across here.
Yeah, they
We
have it,
have,
yeah.
yeah, we have this,
You have it in yellow?
yeah, right here.
Ah, okay, yes.
It's a little
Yes,
bit
we do.
farther back, and as you can see, he's requesting to put it lining up with the front of the home.
I'm sorry?
Page 21.
And I don't own a boat or anything. My thing is to have a little yard back there, because I don't, we have the little mango tree, and I'd like to, do some gardening back there.
How long have you lived in this property?
I've lived in Miami Lakes for 22 years, but at this property, 5 years.
5 years.
Yes.
Did you have that concern when you moved, or
I
is
didn't
that
thi-
something that just came out now?
No, I had always planned to put a fence, but I didn't realize about the setback or anything until I came and started asking about pulling a permit to put the fence, and that's when we run into this.
I see.
He wants a mango tree.
10 foot away.
Any other questions for the applicant?
Through the chair, so I just want to,
There's plenty of landscape.
I have one more question, if you don't mind. Can we make, as a condition of approval, asking, maybe the attorney can answer this as well, or better, can we regulate the gate size?
Yes, definitely,
Okay.
100%.
My only, I'd like to be able to get like one of the big riding lawnmowers, because my landscaper, he comes in and he
Yeah,
does all
yeah, I
that.
mean,
So it's like I'm thinking like a little double gate kind of thing, like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
4-foot double gate that he can get in and.
right.
'Cause he
No,
does all
no,
that
we're
with one
just
of those
making sure
riding-
that, I mean, what what I'm trying to prevent is in the future is putting a big double gate or a big gate where you can, start stacking cars or.
No,
or
that's-
storage.
that's, yeah.
I understand.
I
that.
understand your concern,
But, right, but you may not be the owner of the house.
You are a future owner.
Oh, Right, the future owner, and so I'm not judging you,
I got you.
I'm judging the property on what the property use could turn into in the future.
I understand.
And do we have any against?
Hold on, one at a time.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Tell him. Tell him.
So, question, my understanding is that you are wanting this variance specifically because of the mango tree.
Yes, I wanted to go around, I wanted to,
And that's why you want that extra,
Yeah.
the variance. So if, something for all you to consider, I was just having this discussion, if you were to condition it on the existence of, or keeping the mango tree, you would be okay with that? As long as you have the mango tree, then it's,
yeah. I
the
mean,
variance is allowed. The day the mango tree is not there, then it's no longer conforming use.
Okay, I mean.
Okay.
I'm waiting for the, mango season's great for us, so I'm not planning to take that.
Just something for all of you to consider.
And
Is
yes.
there any letters for or against on this?
Sir? Did you get any letters from the
No, I
neighbors?
didn't.
No.
You didn't discuss it with your neighbors?
No.
Any other questions to the applicant?
Not me.
All right, at this point, we're gonna close the public comments,
So-
or
Okay.
you may have a seat.
Wait,
Oh.
the attorney has a question.
No, he can sit, but remember, Mr. Chair, that we need to take public testimony. Ask anybody from the public if they wish to speak before you close the
Okay.
hearing.
Is there anybody else in the public that wants to speak on behalf or against Mr. Ramirez's petition? Okay. All right.
And there's no comments online either.
No. So at this time, we're gonna close the public comments. Open it up for discussion, panel discussion, recommendations.
I have one comment to make. I thought that he wanted to put the fence right on the sidewalk, and I would have objected completely against that. But he is 10 feet away from the sidewalk, and from what I see on the pictures that I took today, he even maintains the area that not even his. So he takes good care of his property. And that fence will not be detrimental to others that are in the neighborhood, that the fence is right on the sidewalk. And I see it firsthand every day. So,
Good point. Any other comments?
Mr. Chair, the only comment I'd like is to see if we can make sure that we add maybe some type of amendment to the size of the gates, just to prevent from future use,
We could make a motion
and motion to
with
to a
that
smaller size gate.
in mind.
I believe that a riding mower is probably 5 or 6, probably 4 feet wide.
4 feet wide.
Giving you a 6-foot gate, I think would be more than ample.
Typically, the gates are 4 feet, 4 feet and 4-foot gates is
They make them 3 and 3 blades as well. They make them 6 feet tall, wide as well.
Yeah, they custom make
It'll be
the
3 and 3, 3
3 and
for each,
3, and you get to divide.
Like,
On the other side, I've got, the one between my neighbors, I've got, just a double gate there, it's also 4 and 4, so I'd like to see if we can get that match.
Any
Where's,
other-
where's that double gate at, sir? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chair. Is that all right for me to ask the
No,
question?
you gotta open, the hearing again. So you have to make a motion to open.
I mean,
the
I
hearing.
have a question. The comment that Vice Chair is making is that to limit the size of the gate that he can put on the west side of the property? On.
Right, yes, on the west side, for access for a lawnmower, which will be 6 feet. 2 6-foot gates, 2 3-foot
Two, three.
gates.
Okay,
3
now
foot
my
gates.
question is, why are we gonna limit the applicant to a size on his gate?
So that you don't put boat trailers or
Cars.
cars back in there that can fit through a double gate.
Oh, well, but we already, I mean, there's no boats allowed, there's no trailers
Right,
allowed.
we already have code enforcement for that. You're right.
Uh,
You're right. And one more question to the staff, if you would, Mr. Chair. So that one gate is all that the applicant is asking for, the front gate? There's no other gates anywhere along that fence line, correct?
I don't think there's any gates that are requested on this specifically. It's more like the fence, and he hasn't specified what gates. No, he's not asking for any gates on the side.
Okay,
And no, that would not be allowed because he would have to transverse the greenway in order to get there.
gotcha.
So that would be very discouraged as well.
Okay, perfect. That answers my question.
So through the chair, the only thing I'd like to say is that I drove the whole area and there's no other properties there that are out to 15 feet. It would be different than everybody else's there. I'm not saying that I'm not gonna vote for it, but just so everybody knows, I drove around, and this would be the only one that would be jutting out like this.
Is it because of the position?
That's because of the situation that he has there. I mean, if he was only gonna be allowed to be 15 feet from his property, he's gonna leave plenty of room there. The issue more than anything for the 15 feet that I've noticed that Miami Lakes wants is so when you pull up to the stop sign, you can see and not pull out and get hit by a car. But, you know, keep the areas in corners like that so you can see your way. In this case, it won't be a detriment in that way. It's just that nobody else has it. So this would be a specific one-time kind of deal.
Any other comments?
Anybody want to make a motion?
You want to make a motion, Nelson?
No, I'm sorry, I'm just looking at it, one more thing. So we can still, I'm sorry, Ms. Alonso. Okay, so he won't go to Maple Drive with the fence?
No.
And he won't go to Pine with the
No.
fence? Okay, and there's still gonna be, and I see that the fence will be squared up, so you still have the safety turning zone that you're talking
That's
about.
what I said that you have.
Yeah, right, you still have that.
It's a special situation
I
for that
know.
residence. It's a
Yeah.
special condition
You know,
that you still have the safety area.
in the past, we approved, we changed an ordinance for some homes in Royal Oaks because of the lake. The same reason. People were accessing the property on the corner, and they couldn't put a fence because you had the slope and you had the property line, but there was still a danger to people coming from the sidewalk jumping into the lake, and the homeowner was responsible to secure their property. So I understand the awkwardness of this, so.
Would you like to make a motion, sir?
Want to make a motion? It is a tough one, yeah. It is a tough
All right.
one.
I'll make the motion, gentlemen. I make a motion that we approve his request as long as he maintains the fence by the correct setback that the city requires from the property line, which is 6 inches from his property line back, and that he puts in only 2 3-foot gates for a total of 6 foot wide for access back into that area.
I'll go ahead and second the motion.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second.
Are we ready to take roll? Okay. Taking roll on the item 5A. Board Member Leoncio?
No.
Board Member Cruz?
Yes.
Board Member De La Sierra?
Yes.
Vice Chair Rodriguez?
Yes.
Chair Senra?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Bye, Mr. Renier. Have a good one, sir. We go to the second item.
The second item is, now that we've concluded our, your quasi-judicial proceedings, now you get to wear your hat as the local planning agency for the town of Miami Lakes. And this is reviewing a proposed ordinance that will be going before the council next week on second reading. It is creating RM30 zoning designation. It is an ordinance of the town of Miami Lakes, Florida, amending Article 4, creating new Division 6, RM30 medium-low density residential district, renumbering existing Division 6 through 26, Division 7 through 27, providing for incorporation of recital, providing for findings, providing for direction to the administrative official, providing for repeal of laws in conflict, providing for severability, providing for inclusion of some portions in the code, providing for exclusions of some portions of, providing for exclusions of some portions of the code, and providing for an effective date.
And before I even go on, I need to amend something that is going a little different in second reading, and I want y'all to know about it already. On page 30, section 13505, all the way D, the height is incorrect. It's, instead of exceeding 4 stories, is exceeding 5 stories. And then not to exceed 65 feet total. Okay, and now I'm gonna go into the reasoning for all of this.
Item D, you said, this is height, no building,
Yes,
it's 50
D.
feet.
Page 30,
Supposed to be 65 feet?
D,
Oh, it's supposed to be
Height.
65 feet.
55?
65 feet and 5
5 stories, 65 feet. Yes.
Okay.
And it's going to second reading with those numbers. It was incorrect on first reading and on this writing. Again, Susana Alonso for the Planning Department. This ordinance has already been heard by the council on first reading. You're hearing it now, and it will be heard next week on second reading. And obviously, as usual, your recommendations and are super important for the council to be able to make a good decision about the ordinance. The reason that we're putting this in front of you and that we're requesting this change is that right now for high-density residential, the only options that the code allows is either RM23, which is the very lowest end of the, so the way that works is the comp plan designates whether something is high-density residential, medium-density residential, low-density residential, or single-family residential, right? Within those designations, there's a range of densities that are allowed. Right now, our comp plan for high-density residential allows up to 50 residences per acre, and the lowest end is 23. Between that 23, the next step up is 30, and the next step up is 36, and the next step up is 50. So we're sort of wanting to add a little bit of an intermediary step that allows, you know, sufficient density that the developer may not feel like we're really restricting their interest on the property, but also that we get a smaller building with a little less height, not 7 stories as RM36 would allow, but 5. So again, giving the prospective developer a way to be able to produce what the comp plan allows them to do, but not with the visual density that we may get from an RM36 or an RM50, which is a lot more. At this point, we're only creating the actual portion of the code so that it is available, and this is not attached to any particular piece of land. It is just making it available as a designation for multifamily, high-density residential.
More buildings.
Well, again, it's
Well, my question would be what properties, because I know Miami Lakes pretty well. There's not too many locations that this could happen. There's only 2.
Commerce Way.
well, and again, we're not there yet, so we're not attaching this, but we're any future rezonings for things that are comp plan for high-density residential, and yes, we have a few, would have this as an option for either the applicant or the council to either be used as a negotiating point to lower somebody from a 36 or a 50, And again, the fact that we would have to lower them from a 36 to a 23 is, like, you're really taking a lot of units out of the table, which can make it not so palatable as an option, right? So we're sort of creating this middle ground so that we have something better to negotiate with should the need arise. If
Okay.
that makes any sense. So again, at this point, we're just creating the designation.
Right.
When and if it would be attached to any particular piece of land, that would be coming in front of you as well, because that would be another ordinance that would require planning and zoning in your capacity of the land development authority to voice your opinion as well.
Would the property next to the Indian Mound and that lake there be part of this? Would be available for this? Because that's the only other large,
That's RU.
Right now it's
No, it could be-
it's
it could be-
agricultural. It would have to be comp planned and rezoned.
right,
So that's a lot, but
because that's the only other
they could
big
request
piece.
it. But
Yeah, it's
but
the
that
only
would
other
be-
big piece of
right, but,
property other than Commerce Way.
You have,
Oh, yeah, you do
you have the acreage behind Lakes, Lakes Radiology,
Where those houses are.
where the acreage houses are.
Yeah, we're already rezoning that as RU1.
Right,
We're in the process of doing that.
and you'll be hearing of that next month, maybe.
yeah. So but this could affect that property as well, no?
No, because
No,
those
because it's
are,
gonna be
the
RU1.
comp plan on those is low-density residential.
Okay,
Right.
So their maximum density is way below the 23.
okay, so just to get this in my head correctly, we don't have a gap measure. This is a gap measure so that they don't go from 36 to 50 or from 36 to 23.
Correct.
So it puts the council or our planning department in a zone to negotiate and not create,
Correct.
well, it would put the town in a bad position, because we've had this before when I was on the council, where we try to regulate what the builder was gonna build. And we were putting, because we didn't have any ordinances to protect the town at that time, doing that. And it put us in a really bad situation with the builder, because the builders say, well, you're taking money out of my pocket. What's the name of that law? Where the builder sues,
You're talking about Bert Harris?
the Bert Harris law, right? And then it put the town in a really precarious issue, because they could build 5 homes, according to them. We didn't want 5 homes, but, with Bert Harris, it really, so the way I'm reading it was, is this would put the town in a negotiating step, like you said, to protect us in the future of giving up more options. Now, one question did it pass on first reading?
It did.
Okay.
And this also could probably be applied to the warehouse district, where 60th Avenue, where there's not that much warehouse being used.
This could be used in the future for any changes to the comp plan that would accommodate high-density residential.
So the 60th Avenue area there.
That's very industrial,
I
so
know.
it'd be difficult for, I mean,
I know, but I've
I don't
seen
put
it,
anything
but
past them,
just
but-
curiosity where this could be applied.
And again, anything else, anything that would be attached to this other than existing RM36 districts would have to be comp plan amendment first.
Okay.
And again, how, well, I don't know if you remember, but how much fun that was in 2017 when we did that last. That's a lot of hearings and a lot of,
For the building next to the school,
correct.
which I never
Well,
wanted to see.
actually, that was already an RO 50.
Yeah.
That was 50 units to the acre, and one of the reasons that we were back against the wall on that one is that it was a 50.
It was a 50.
All right, so I'll motion to, you need us to motion to recommend? What do you need us to do?
Discuss, and any recommendations at this point to make the ordinance a little better, I'm here for them.
Now, I'll motion to leave it as is. You guys have strategically planned this well and put the town in a better situation. I can see where you're going forward to protect you're learning from previous issues. So I motion to leave it as is, and if the council decides to chew it up on second reading, they can do it like that. So I just motion to leave it as is.
I'll second
I'll
that.
second.
Okay, calling roll for item 5B. Motion by Vice Chair Rodriguez and seconded by Chair Senra to move forward with the ordinance as is. Board Member De La Sierra,
Yes.
Board Member Cruz,
Yes.
Board Member Leoncio,
Yes.
Vice Chair Rodriguez,
Yes?
Chair Senra.
Yes.
The motion passes.
All right. At this point, there are no other issues. So
Do we
the
have
meeting is adjourned.
Do we have a report or, no?
Huh?
Ms. Ann, did you have a report or anything you wanted to?
Oh, before I adjourn, I disadjourn.
Yeah, no report at this time. We do have another few ordinances coming down the pike in the next few months, so please make yourselves available. If you're not gonna be able to make quorum, let me know, because I have a lot of stuff coming at ya.
Are you gonna shut down
this-
in the summertime, any dates? I mean, it has
We
happened
may,
before.
I think we're gonna have to cancel August or July. What was it, July or August? I think July is the one that we have to cancel, because the 4th of July is in conflict.
Okay.
So most likely, we're gonna meet next in August, but I have a lot of ordinances coming down.
No.
So there's a lot of interesting discussions to be had.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, meeting adjourned.